Hello and welcome back to Boxing Social in association with Betfred. My name is Ayman. We're here in the immediate aftermath of Josh Taylor versus Jack Catterall. With me is the one and only Carl Frampton. Carl, your immediate reaction to that fight?
I think the wrong man got his hand raised, and I haven't seen anybody at ringside to say otherwise. And it's just a shit sport at times, and you have to ask yourself. I'm sitting 5 yards away from the judges, or one of the judges, one of the judges who scored it in Taylor's favour by a good bit, and you're like, what are you saying that I'm not saying? You know, it's like I don't know. I don't think there's corruption or brown envelopes or anything like that. I'm not suggesting that for the minute, but they don't know what they're fucking watching. Simple. And what Josh has done in his career has been unbelievable. Pound for pound, the number one fighter in the UK, undisputed champion inside 20 fights, unbelievable. But Jack won that fight tonight, and I'm good friends with both guys. So, and I always like to be honest. And I'm actually invited to Josh's wedding very soon. Hopefully I'm still invited. But I like to be honest. And whatever happens now, Josh will probably move up to welterweight. Big fights with Crawford or Spence or whoever it may be. Conor Benn even, but Josh, Conor Benn is a level below Josh Taylor. But hopefully, if Josh does move up, Jack then gets the fight for a world title because he does deserve it.
Carl, does it hurt more from a boxer's perspective when you see a fighter who gets written off, raises their game, and in your perspective wins the fight, then doesn't get the decision when the judges?
I'm just frustrated with it. Like I knew I fancied Josh in the fight, and everybody was asking me. A lot of people thought it was going to be a one-sided fight, and I said I think Josh wins the fight, but I don't think it's going to be one-sided, and I think it's going to be really competitive. And it was more than competitive. The wrong man had his hand raised, and I want to say, I love Josh. I love his wife to be Danielle, and his mum and dad. And I know their family, but I just like to be honest, and it was the wrong decision.
Would you like to see a rematch? Do you think we see a rematch?
I would like to see a rematch. I think Jack deserves a rematch. I don't think I will see it because I think Josh will now move to welterweight. And hopefully, if he does move to welterweight, Jack will come in and fight for one of the vacant titles and become world champion.
Could you just break down what you were seeing also in the fight in terms of how it's playing out? It was very rough and rugged at times, but what would you see the successes that Catterall was having?
I think Jack's jab was really good tonight. I think he was really good on the inside. His stuff with it's kind of fucking Roberto Duran-esque, like what he was doing with his shoulder and stuff. And Josh was really doing good stuff kind of up close, but Jack can control the fight for me in large periods of it, and I suppose all the rounds there was no real massive rounds. I think that the referee 2 deductions were really unwarranted. It was almost like, I'll give you a deduction, so I'm going to give you a deduction. I didn't see any need for any deduction. It's just this game. It's just this game.
Final thing, Carl. Surprising moment, the first knockdown of Taylor's career.
Yeah, is that the first knockdown?
I believe it was, yeah.
Yeah, and probably a little bit to do with the weight, being dead or close to dead at the weight. When you get hit with, it didn't look like a particularly big shot, but when you get hit with a sharp, fast shot and you're struggling with the weight, then it's going to have an effect, and it looks like that's what happened.
Carl, let's leave it there. Pleasure speaking to you. Thanks for speaking to Boxing Social.